Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Trams87. We were almost lost to the darkness. It was all around us, but then suddenly the traveler awoke. With a brilliance so bright, it was blinding. Even the darkness flees in the wake of the power of the light. However, before that moment, the nature of the dark, its true essence, the deep, sought to consume important planets from our soul system. And now, they are lost, gone, removed from us, destroyed, and we have no way of knowing how, when, or where our beloved planets have been taken. You have questions? Yes. Good. But allow me to read your mind. You are wondering what planets? It is a total of 4 planets: Io, Titan, Mars, and Mercury, which were taken from us, including our beloved guardians of the light. The names of these individuals are Asher Mir, Commander Sloan, and Brother Vance. Though beloved may be a strong word for Brother Vance, he is no doubt a brother and protector of the lighthouse. My friends, for you to understand what is going on, it's essential that we catch up with a guardian that goes by the name of Osiris, along with his companion Sagira. Come, have a listen then to this excerpt from the Weblore entry titled Immolant, Part 1, and it reads:
That's pretty good. I mean, it could be a little less narcissistic, but you've only had decades to practice.
Sagira pokes. It isn't finished, Osiris grumbles. Stop reading my private drive. Fractals of color scintillate and split across Osiris's jump ship as it slips through space towards Io. His mind is still taxed from his last visit. He remembers, camouflaged against the rushing atmospheric bands of Jupiter, how he drifted alongside its evergreen moon. He remembers the deep wedge that sunk between the two bodies dividing them. The pyramid before him, lascivious tendrils of wildfire hue flowed from it like a grasping hand across the cradle. The image as clear as relived trauma. Io had been dwarfed against the black angular pit, seated in its atmosphere. His eyes could not leave it then. Even now, he feels himself falling into its gravity as they approach again.
Have you sent it to sync yet?
Sagira flitters into view. She brings him back to the present, soaring across space. No, I told you, it isn't finished.
Have you told him you're writing poetry again? He's going to have so much to say about that.
Enough! You don't need to be involved. He badgers me enough already as it is. Osiris barks half-heartedly, his face softening as the words leave him. We have work to do. They lurch out of their jump. Jupiter's depths fills the canopy with pyrographic incandescence. Dozens of moons arc around the giant in careful, patient grooves. cut into space over millennia of gravitational friction. Io is not among them. Osiris checks and rechecks his coordinates. Sagira assures him they are correct. They stare at the disparity together. The orbital readings of Sol's bodies are intact, gravity unrelated. But the system is gutted, 4 globes plucked from the skies. His eyes sink into the maw of eternal depth lurking in Io's place, an anomaly of darkness. Osiris stares as if looking into the pyre flames of a funeral, the corpse uncanny, familiarity, a stranger you half remember. There is only the gouge of Io's absence, a reckoning whispered and left. Saturn grieves the loss of Titan, the cerulean jewel that once had it sunken into the gullet of the abyss. In its place, an anomaly, dark and rimmed in gravitational lensing. Osiris tears his eyes away and fixates on its sibling cavity, a swath cut through Saturn's rings by Oryx's blade during the Taken War. Within the rings, the dreadnought sails in solidarity with the anomaly's orbit, whispering back in harmony. "Do you hear that?" Osiris asks, turning to Sagira. He turns the ship's scanning array toward the anomaly. Like the tones Vance described from the spires and then the pyramids, it was coming from the anomaly that replaced Io as well.
I don't hear anything, but I can feel it.
Sagira cringes and constricts her shell flaps like a shiver down a metaphorical spine. Osiris lowers his gaze. He does not want to see their failure or believe the cradle's tree, the forest, all the Golden Age treasures so many had died to preserve were gone. All their victories usurped and meaningless in the face of the enemy. For all their power or their heroism, they had invited this fate, and when it came, they were not prepared. Phobos and Deimos orbit the grave of Mars, where a rolling depth festers, hungry and reaching out to the little moons caught within its influence. The war mind buckled, and yet somehow it ekes out existence in hiding, a survivor again. Anna still holds on to a dead hope. She should be out in the field as a paragon of the old age, charging forward to lead unsteady neophytes, like he has instead. She retreats to the city and lays her worries on Zavala's brow, promising a Rasputin perfected to rebuke the assailing horrors of the night. But the war mind did not stop the pyramids, and unkept promises make Osiris weary. At least Sloane and Asher confronted the onslaught themselves one last time. How he longs for that absurd aplomb. To know the way forward, one must bear the torch, he murmurs. Sagira is silent. Osiris can feel the weight of each lost world shackle her hope to a blistering reality. There is one reason to linger here. The ship drops into Sol's mighty star wind, the brilliant flames of the sun at their backs. Osiris's hope tells him he could find a subdued Mercury here, laboring under the angular shadow of a pyramid. But he knows his hope is a lie. The wound is all he can see, a pit ringed in flame. He remembers the vast nothingness he had and witnessed in the infinite forest. He laments the loss of his clairvoyance within its coded halls. Perhaps there he would have had the answer to the question he wants to ask Sagira. Have I led us down this path? He tells himself that his last visit was driven by anger. Sagira had chided him from storming the lighthouse and ransacking Vance's possessions. They are my relics, he said to silence her protest. In truth, what drove Osiris to Mercury then is the same as what drives him now. Fear.
Why didn't you tell Zavala about the lighthouse, about the tree?
Sagira asks. Osiris is silent.
There are people that will help. This isn't the Dark Ages. You don't have to do this alone.
When I have something to show them, I will. Right now, all I have are questions. Osiris watches analytical data stream up his monitor. So where does that leave us? Mara began this escapade with her message, and I did as she asked. I can only hope the Awoken can provide more answers. So, it's possible then that the planets aren't gone, but altered in their state. Possibly terraformed or worse, moved to another realm entirely. What realm, you ask? I would ask, what others are there? You know of one. The one of many. The one of multiple. But for now, that is all I have to tell you. Do not lose hope, my fellow guardians. Despite how bleak it may sound, a dawning is on the horizon, and the brilliance of that new light will be life-changing. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then please feel free to leave a like and also consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification if you'd like to be alerted when my next upload goes live. Remember that whatever you're going through in life, there is a good plan and purpose for your life. You can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.